Kaveh Guilanpour is Vice President for International Strategies at the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions. He recently served as a senior member of the UN Secretary-General's Climate Action Team. He joins us now from London. Sir, thank you so much for being with us here on Al Jazeera. I mean, a story that has been overlooked, I would say, in the past few weeks because of the focus on Ukraine, certainly the release of the report's second part. Now we have the third part, which outlines, I guess, some of the solutions. What are some of those solutions?
Well, thank you very much for having me on the programme. I think the report, I mean, the Secretary-General was absolutely clear and he was right there, but the report also does outline the way forward, and it makes it clear that the solutions are there. And it really highlights three things. I think one in particular, it highlights the fact that policies, climate policies and legislation do work. So countries that have those in place have seen impact in a positive way on climate change. The problem is that not enough of them have legislated and they haven't done it quick enough. So one area is to put policies in place and implement them domestically, not just with promises internationally. Another area that it's very clear on is that we need a substantial reduction in overall fossil fuel use, so particularly in areas of energy efficiency, low emission energy sources such as renewables, but also different ways of carrying energy and transporting it, such as hydrogen. So that's another area. And then the third area is this sort of, for the first time, the report really looks at the demand side of energy usage. So things like shifting diets, transport patterns, and material efficiency aspects. So those are the three main areas in high-level terms that the report addresses.
And of course, the report doesn't hold back from saying that there has to be rapid, deep and immediate cuts in carbon dioxide emissions to prevent what you term, or what it terms, a climate catastrophe. Now, for a variety of reasons, some politicians are not particularly keen, and we've seen the whole situation, with energy sources now in Ukraine, at least temporarily, put more pressure. What do you think businesses or civil society can do to put more pressure on politicians?
Well, civil society, particularly the youth movement in recent years, has had an enormously important impact on holding politicians to account. Of course, it's the youth that stand most to lose, and the pressure from them will just increase. But as you rightly point out, the private sector and businesses are also in the firing line here, because the risks for them from the uncertainty around investments are going to impact them economically. So we're seeing increasing pressure from business for action, in particular in the areas of risk analysis, of countries putting in place the policies for a level playing field. And business really needs certainty so that it can make the plans it needs for investment, and really to avoid stranded assets, which is a real consequence of this report if implemented. But it's really governments that have to lead and show the way forward, both for members of the public to know how they can act, but also for the private sector to step in and do what it can as well.
And do you sense that, I mean, whether governments or civil society, that attitudes are changing, not just because of the pressure and a lot of the issues that come out in reports like this one, but also because we are seeing more and more the impact of climate change around the world?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are excellent examples of action being taken, but it's just too few and not fast enough. But as you say, we're seeing increasing impacts, and this is really the existential threat of our lifetime. So it's time for true leaders to step up and lead. And survey after survey has shown that members of the public around the world want action, but government really needs to take the first step to put in place the context for members of the public to do what they can.
Kaveh Guilanpour, Vice President for International Strategies at the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions, and also recently served as a senior member of the UN Secretary-General's Climate Action Team. Sir, thank you so much for sharing your views and expertise with us. Thank you.
Thank you.